All right, so Linda, did you hear about those two Oregon businessmen that were retired and sitting on the beach down in Florida? Had a conversation. They were sitting there talking. The first guy says, back in Portland, I had a great big furniture business. I built high-end furniture, and for years and years, I just made lots of money, plenty of money. But over the past few years, with all the influx of cheap stuff from China and overseas, I began to take a loss. And I operated at a loss for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then there was a big fire down at the factory, burnt the factory to the ground, and I got the check from the insurance company, and I thought about it. Instead of rebuilding, I just took the money, and now I'm retired down here. The second guy said, that sounds awfully familiar. He said, I was back in upstate there, and I had a big speedboat company, and I built speedboats, but the technology got away from us, and people started to surpass us, and my profits fell off, and even before I started working at a loss, though, it was a big earthquake, and it just shook my factory to the ground. And when I got my check, just like you, I just cashed the check and retired to Florida. And the first guy thought about it, and he leaned into the second guy and said, how did you arrange an earthquake?
You ready to go?
No, I got to tell you a little fact about Oregon, because we got to educate people.
Okay.
Oregon leads the nation in clinical depression. Yes.
Seriously?
Yes. Oh yeah. And in extramarital affairs.
Wow.
It's a sad state of affairs. Now, are you ready to go?
Now I'm definitely
Give me
ready.
some right here. We're here at, what is this, Mount St. Helens, right out of Castle
Rock.
Castle Rock. That's a pretty popular name around here. And when you get here and you just get set up, what do?
Well, you sit on your picnic table overlooking the mountains. You get you some ice cream and a spoon, and you go for it.
Well, let me just show what we're looking at here. And then what I'll do is show you what we're really doing. There's a road right down here. Look at all the cars. Ah! Mountains out there, mountains out there, mountains out there. Oh yeah, looking good. Now what we're doing is, it's time for the time to check in. So people are showing up like crazy. So we're just sitting up here, looking down on all the trailers coming in and backing in, and just watching how they hook up.
Everybody's got a different system.
Everybody got a different system, and some people don't have a system.
Some people lose their patience with their travel meet.
That's right. So here we go. Okay, so Linda will not let me film this. She won't let me film it, so I'm just going to have to sit here and tell you about it. Down here where I just said that they were backing in and we were watching it, it's funny. It's not funny anymore.
It's disaster upon disaster upon disaster.
The one trailer, I don't know what the heck he's doing, but he's right on this little cliff. If you notice how behind us here, it falls right off. Well, he's up there working at the tongue of his trailer, and all of a sudden the whole thing falls right on top of him. He's able to get his legs out from somehow, and the trailer starts rolling back like it's going to go off the hill. This is ridiculous. And then this other guy has tried about 8 times to get his trailer back in. He cannot do it. Somebody from the KOA here has went out and tried to direct him, and he won't pay attention, and so they're just about to give up on him. But it's not even funny.
You guys, this is sad.
We were thinking this was comical,
It's
but
not.
it's beyond comical now. Somebody's going to get hurt,
Yeah.
and they're tearing up material and equipment. Oh my goodness, this is just not good.
Not good.
I mean, we've talked about this, and everybody knows that because of COVID, everybody in the world has gone down and bought a trailer or a motor home or something. And I'm going to tell you right now, from this 3 months we've been gone, 80% of them had absolutely no business buying this stuff. But what we're seeing down here, somebody's about to get hurt. We'll keep you up.
This used to be the Maple Flats neighborhood. There were 13 homes across the street, and with the two events, the first event was a landslide into the river valley up by Mount St. Helens, and that raised the Spirit Lake about 500 feet. It happened so quickly that it only took 5 minutes for the debris to go across, raise the lake, and also take out all of the there were a bunch of camps up there, and just wiped them all out and buried them all under about 500 feet of debris. The second part of what happened was when the mountain started having the meltdown from the heat, and a lot of sediment came down towards this way. And as it was coming down through the river, it was getting wider. It was like a wet concrete, and it started taking homes off of their foundations. So all the houses across the street got washed down the river.
Wow.
The house behind you was built in 1972. That used to be the highest point on the property. It used to take about 4 or 5 steps to enter into the house.
Awesome.
This was the lowest part of the property, and if you look around here, there's an A-frame. You're actually looking at the second level.
Wow.
So the A-frame was actually buried under about 6 to 7 feet of debris. So as the sediment, you have a question?
Oh, if you don't, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do have a question of how this hot lava that's flowing.
It wasn't lava.
Okay, it was just.
It was sediment. It was
right.
dirt. It was pumice from the mountain. It was hot. It was taking trees down,
like
and
trash,
so it was like a wet concrete. It
Uh-huh.
was only about 500 degrees when it reached this particular area.
Okay. All right,
Uh-huh.
that's good.
But as it came down river and it was picking up more, that's Buddy. He's public.
He's
relations.
good. He's good.
As it picked up more and more debris and got heavier and thicker, it started spreading out wider. It actually covered Spirit Lake Highway to the point where this was the furthest you were able to go up. Everything else was covered totally. There were no more roads. So the A-frame itself, there's a disintegrating log in front of it. That's the log that broke through the glass and allowed the A-frame to fill. The A-frame was only finished being built 3 days or 4 days
You're
before
kidding
the
me.
eruption. They got to move some stuff into it because the sheriff's department would let them check on it before the eruption. So they would move pieces of furniture in. They never got to utilize it.
Oh.
We believe the reason why the A-frame is still standing, and we bought it from the original owners who are now in their 70s. They had a relationship with Weyerhaeuser, the people that cut the trees down, and Weyerhaeuser would put up and take down bridges. They had to be maintained because of the weight of the trucks. That house was built with bridge material, so the beams were long, heavy beams, and I believe that's why it was still standing. At one point, they actually excavated the house out because it was standing, and what they found was that the water table shifted and the A-frame kept filling with water. So for a while, they would let people just walk into the entrance part, but they had pumps going. But they ended up putting everything back around the A-frame to show what it looked like after the eruption. There's also a little refrigerator if you walk around on the other side against a tree, and that was the last remnant from a house up the street. It was a brand new house, so the refrigerator was new when it landed there, but because everything hardened like concrete, you couldn't remove anything. So a few years later, Ron was telling us, the original owner, that when this man came back, he said, "Hey, you found my refrigerator. Did you see the rest of my house?" we have the Humvee, that's ours. My son-in-law does Bigfoot research. He's at the top of the Bigfoot field now.
cool.
I don't know if you watch Expedition Unknown, Expedition X.
Occasionally.
Okay, Wednesday, they just did an episode with my son-in-law.
Are you serious?
Him and Matt Moneymaker from Finding Bigfoot, and Jessica and Phil from Destination X.
Here at this property?
No, they did it at Ape Canyon, being from a gift shop to an interpretive center with a gift shop. And we'll be having a museum eventually in this part of the building of Bigfoot, Mount St. Helens. If you like Bigfoot, we have footprints up there, castings. They're up in the store. We have a whole section of it. And we also have artifacts from Mount St. Helens early on. So we have a lot of people who are like, who lived through the experience in their 40s, and now they're like in their 80s. And we're getting a lot of donations of stuff from the eruption, actual things that survived, and a lot of the stories we're collecting. And so we're hoping to put that out next year. So,
Well, we won't take your time because
behind you
you've
is
got other
Joe,
people.
Our Bigfoot researcher, and the one that does everything with the
Oh, cool.
with everything. And he's the one that was just on Finding Expedition X.
Hello.
How you
So
doing?
these folks are from Florida.
That's a little bit of a drive.
We had to come see it.
Welcome. That's very cool.
So we just did a little tour of the property, told them a little bit about the cabin and what they found. I don't go on it too much because I don't know it like you do, and stuff that they found. And
But the
stuff.
neat thing though is we saw a little barn and a thing in Iceland. We were over there the last time that volcano went off, but we saw one from a previous eruption that was encapsulated like that. Just part of it was out, and I really couldn't understand how this hot lava didn't just burn it up. But then you explained how this happened, so that would be the same.
Because not all, like, and he can explain it.
Yeah.
He's also the expert on volcanoes. Not all volcanoes are lava volcanoes. And they're just what kind is Mount St. Helens? It's a
What's called a stratovolcano. So basically it makes these hot ash clouds rather than lava. However, 2,000 years ago, it did a basalt flow like the Hawaii volcano. That's what created Ape Cave. It was very unusual for the Cascades. You don't usually see lava flows like that.
That was impressive, and I learned something. I learned a lot.
Thank
but
you
that-
so
that-
much.
That has really been.
it makes it more
you know,
interesting.
In half, they did one half up on Ape Canyon, and the other half we did a night investigation with the Humvee.
Okay. Expedition.
Yeah, you'll see my stupid face in there.
You got it. Excellent. One big difference is you can have a conversation in here.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you would think.
Yeah.
That's why we really don't use the headsets unless it's a long trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we think we understand from the last stop that we had was this is the original riverbed here, but it's been raised. It's been raised quite a bit. I mean, I guess in some places it raised as much as, in this area up here, as much as 500 feet. That place where we were just down, they said it raised 8 to 12 feet down there. But you can see the little bits of water coming through. But you see the material. That's not your standard dirt around here. That's the runoff from the explosion off of Mount St. Helens, and then you follow it right up, and there's Mount St. Helens with that whole left side gone out of it, and that left side that's gone is right down through here. But it's obviously a fertile enough material that you see all the grass that's grown from it and everything. I did learn a bit last time we stopped.
St. Helens right here, and in the far distance over there you can see Mount Hood. So we're really lucky. We have a really good viewpoint.
And you can see this is the side obviously that blew out in the eruption in 1980. And look, just look coming down. Look coming down off the side of the mountain how it started out, and then it made its turn to follow the valley through here. But unbelievable stuff right here, Linda.
Guys, this is so amazing, and it was such devastation, but it's so beautiful at this point.
Yeah, this is what, how many, 41 years ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 41 years ago. And then of course, just look out for Mount Hood, because it's volcanic as well. It just hasn't gone off in a while. Okay, so this was our first stop in Washington State, Mount St. Helens area. And Linda, what did you think of this?
It was so pretty. It was hard to imagine the devastation that happened 41 years ago, but of course the reforestation is still going on, and it's so beautiful, so very pretty, and it was so cool to meet Lorelei. She's such an interesting person. We got to talk to her for quite a long time, and she was really cool. It was great to get to meet her and get that special connection with her.
Well, and then she introduced us to her son-in-law, which is our latest celebrity on this trip, Joe Bongiovanni. If you ever watch Expedition X or Expedition Unknown, he's been featured in both of those, on both of those shows at different times. But he and I got to talk in our military vehicles because his Humvee was sitting right there, and oh my goodness, he has done such a job on that machine. It's totally tricked out with everything the Marines could ever put on a Humvee, and then he's taken it up, as Emerald would say, about 5 notches, and this guy has not shortcutted on anything. And then he took me for a ride in it, and that will blow you away. But really, look up Joe Bongiovanni, the Bigfoot hunter, and see about this guy. He's been on quite a few television shows and is a pretty big deal in the Bigfoot industry.
So great time there.
Oh,
Excellent time.
it was so cool. It was a little scary thinking about how volatile not only Mount St. Helens is, but Mount Hood. Of course, Mount Rainier is right there. So it was kind of an all spooky time, but a really cool,
Yeah.
neat time.
But I guess we're on to our next adventure.
Next adventure.
Peace.